Yeah, obviously great to be back. Just miss being out there with the boys, and it was just good to see us kind of resemble at times there, the team that we've been, for a much larger part of the season than, for the last couple of weeks. So, obviously I think the Wednesday game at Seton Hall, I saw a team that fought, much harder than it had been fighting, and obviously loses a game, because we couldn't just grab a rebound on a poorly missed 3-point shot. So I think the heartbreak of that and some of the suffering that's gone on the last couple of weeks, hopefully will produce more of these types of games from us.
You did a lot of things right, and what did you like the most?
The rebounding, for me, I just think the domination on the backboard. I mean, to go plus 26, I think it just showed that maybe there's an understanding how we lost that Seton Hall game, because obviously the turnovers in the second half, the multitude of missed layups at the rim and/or travels when we had chances there, and then the inability to defensive rebound. If we do those things, we probably got out of there on Wednesday with a potentially double-figure win. So I think we made a much more conscious effort. I think when you're struggling and going through obviously a tough part of your season, like every team in the country does, you got to learn from it. You got to grow from it.
When you look big picture, try to make sure it's going back in the right direction for good. How have you gone about making sure the players build or maintain a level of confidence that obviously that stretch where they felt invincible or that stretch where they felt vulnerable?
Yeah, I mean, you feel like you're not going to win a game again. I mean, you can see it all over. When I got back into practice, it looked like dogs at an animal shelter. I mean, these guys, they're beat up. I mean, it was a little scary yesterday, kind of going in there and seeing what the collective group, looked like, and their energy level, and I don't think we handled the two things. I mean, when you get back to where we took this thing back to, where we were on the verge of being the number one team in the country and had to settle for two, I just think there's a certain pressure that comes with that, and then a mindset of you better continue to get better even when you're at that level. And I think as a coaching staff, we failed. I failed these guys in terms of trying to do things to try to take the pressure off them. And then, the other failure was not just forcing us to be about continuing to improve. But when it's the first time you've gone through it in a very long time here, even, because it's been a very long time here, even since we've played that well to start a year, that's where we didn't handle the pressure well, and we didn't. That comes with being number two in the country and you getting everyone's best shot, and then we didn't keep improving. But now I think we're in a much more comfortable spot where our back's against the wall, and I think we're a little bit better when our backs are against the wall. Yeah, I just thought there were more, even though there were obviously we as collectively the 12 turnovers in the second half of the last game. I just thought, our guards made more plays versus Seton Hall, like going by somebody and trying to get to the rim. Jordan had some nice assists in the first half. I just think our emphasis right now is like, there's a lot of actions that we run to try to create opportunities, but you also offensively, you got to have guys that could just go and make plays off the dribble. Because, really good teams, especially in the Big East, where it's hard to cut, it's hard to move the way that people grab you and hold you and foul you. And, depending on how the game, who's reffing, that becomes a challenge to run your stuff to generate offense. And when you play games like that, you have to have people, that can go by people and make plays. And Tristan did that. I think Jordan's getting better at that. I thought Haas, today resembled the guy that I think we hope to have the rest of the year, where like impact defense, creating just high energy off the bench. It was good to see guys play in a manner that will allow us to play closer to the team that was, highly ranked.
Dan, you were able to get Samson Johnson 7 minutes. Talk about where he is and his progression and where he is.
It was good to get the jitters out for him. And obviously, the game situation allowed it. He's only had like 3 or 4 practices of live. He had like an 8-minute, minute restriction, which is, I've never heard that one, but that we had that coming in. But it was just good to have him out there. It's going to take some pressure off of Alex, and it just gives us a little bit more flexibility. We obviously got to get our guards playing collectively better. Put these guys in a better position to be more productive and more efficient. But it also too now gives us the flexibility if we don't have the number of guards, that are really playing well, we can go with Sam at the 4, which is nice when Alex needs a break. Yeah, I mean, that's indescribable, I don't even, I had when I was coaching in high school, I got thrown out of the state championship game one year. And then with that comes me and J.R. Smith, and I think 3 other people. And I got suspended the first game. So that was but I was following that via people texting me. To have to sit there and watch that game and to not be there for the boys was, oof.
Yeah, how much of that involve X's and O's in basketball that you can correct or adjust? And how much of it is just playing feel lost confidence?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot here. This is not, there's a lot of noise when it's not going well here. And it affects the players in a very negative way. It affects their confidence. They're not like me, who's 50 years old. And, I could, I could not go on Instagram or Twitter, I mean, or any social media and not, it would have zero impact and I would never look for it. Whereas these kids, their whole life is is looking on there and looking at messages and looking at comments and, and that affected them, I think, a lot. I think it affects, players across the country, obviously, but I think certain programs, it's more harsh. And I think it's affected these guys in a major way. The outside noise, at this particular place. And then, every team, we just tried to stress to them that every team in the country goes through a bad stretch for a 10-day period, 2-week period. We had a very brutal, obviously I can't explain the St. John's game at home. That I can't give you an explanation for what happened that day. It's a total failure. But you go lose. The way the schedule's set up for us, send us out to Xavier, and then you go into Marquette, and you go into Providence, 3 nationally ranked teams. It's usually in between those games, you're playing like a bottom team in the league where you could get right. And I just think it was the perfect storm, because that's over now. We won one, and now we cannot wait to get to Gamble on Wednesday, where we've won a lot of games in a row in front of fans.
You talked about how they looked yesterday. You saw them. How did you kind of build it back up?
I mean, I don't know if I could go with the video. I may send it out on my Instagram tonight. It was an unbelievable job. I mean, Tevin and Matt Johnson just did a great job. It was, I just thought that they really played a video that from a movie, and then they spliced in, clips of, of us during this losing stretch, and I don't know if it's like if like copyright or something with the movie. Maybe I'll post it later or something. It was Pacino from, Any Given Sunday, right? Yeah, right. We're in Hell. We're in Hell, Men, right? That was great. They did a great job with it. Yeah. Yeah, the energy. And I didn't think it was listen, we were up 17 on the road the other night. It's just we didn't play a full 40 minutes. We let our guard down. And then we the crowd obviously there. I mean, Seton Hall is an underrated crowd there. Everyone's wearing blue. I mean, they obviously, we got a little rattled and we got away from what we were doing to start the game. But I thought the beginning of finding ourselves in terms of our toughness, we didn't lose the game the other night, because we were horrible or because, we're not tough or we're weak and the season's over. We lost the other night because we just didn't play well enough in the second half of the game. And today we played a full 40 minutes.
When you watch on TV, there's something, you kind of see the game in a different view. Does that change any way you watch the game that's coming on the sideline?
No, I just think it gives me a greater appreciation, for the courage, that it takes, like for to see Luke on the sideline and have to carry the weight of the team not playing well going into that game, and the players. It just reminded me, I think, just of the strength and the courage that these players have and the coaches have to get out there, and perform in adverse situations. And it takes special people to do what we do and respond from failure and have to turn your season back around. And so I thought it was, listen, the things that went on, I thought between then and obviously, you get the, try to inspire these guys, do some visual aids. And then, the NCAA sent us that, the national championship trophy yesterday, where I think 10 teams in the country, and they pick them. They pick the schools that get that trophy for a couple of days. They pick the 10 teams that they think will win the national championship. So, we know we don't suck. We know we're really good. And we know that these next 10 games, we've got a bunch of people coming to Gamble, and that we've got a chance to start stacking some wins.
Yeah, it's not to have the players for yesterday.
Yeah. I was like the Wizard of Oz on Zooms and stuff with them. And I was involved to the best that I could because I was on my ass pretty good with it. I started feeling like pretty bad on like Sunday night, but I wasn't sure if it was the game, and then on my 50th on Monday, I knew that there was potentially an issue, but I was able to at least that day get on they zoomed me in where I could at least listen. And then, the day of the game, I was able to get on the edit with the team. And so I was on a lot of things, on a lot of Zooms. They just couldn't see me because I didn't look great. So I didn't want them to see me like that. It was tough. I mean, it brought back some very jarring memories, and my glasses were getting foggy, and had a bunch of snot. I had to switch out masks a couple times. I had a bunch of snot, phlegm in there. It was just, it brought you back to just really bad. It was, knowing where the team's at, plus putting that mask on today, it's just perfect storm, man. I mean, perfect storm. Thank you.